Happy Halloween, and thank you for joining me on this last day of 31 Days of Horror. I'm your host, Stephen Bloodworth, filmmaker and indie film critic. Thank you so much for coming by. I had a lot of fun. I'm really glad that I decided to do 31 Days of Horror this year, and I hope all of you guys have enjoyed my reviews. There were several choices in my mind for what I was going to review for day 31. I had several different options, but I decided to go with something that I haven't heard a lot of people discuss. And of course, I wanted to do a film that takes place on and around Halloween. So with that being said, for today's Halloween review, I'm gonna go with Trick from 2019. Directed by Patrick Lussier, Trick begins in 2015 at a Halloween party. We can see these group of teens playing some spin the bottle game, but instead of a bottle, they use a knife. On one side of the knife handle, the word Trick is carved in, and on the other side, the word treat. Everyone takes a turn until it is Patrick, aka Trick's turn. Trick ends up spinning the knife on a guy, and for some reason he turns his pumpkin mask around and picks up the knife and starts butchering just about everyone at this party. One of the kids fights back and actually stabs Trick, and eventually the police come and he's taken to the hospital. But Trick is not done. In the hospital, he turns the place into a bloodbath, eventually getting shot, thrown out a window by police, and falling into the water. It's presumed that Trick is dead, claiming that nobody could survive that many gunshots, fall from that great a height, and survive in water that cold. But one detective is not too sure and is convinced that Trick is still alive. The film goes on over the next few years, showing more murders happening in the same tradition as Trick. The detective is certain that Trick is behind these murders because the killer is dressed in the same makeup as Trick. The film fast forwards a few years to another Halloween, and more murders happen in the same tradition as Trick's murders. The police are on high alert, kind of similar to the police in Halloween, where they're all on alert for Michael Myers. In this case, they're all on alert for Trick. The film is an excellent tribute to the classics like Halloween. It's filled with amazing and lovable characters and some insane violence and gore. Jamie Kennedy has a cool cameo as the doctor in the hospital. Now, typically I wouldn't spoil an ending, but it's Halloween, so I'm gonna give you guys the option. Trick or treat. If you pick Trick, then go ahead and stop the video, but if you decided treat, then stay tuned. So the Trick that the police have been going after has not been the actual Trick from 2015. Trick is not exactly a person. It is more of a movement, or a trend, if you would say. So there are multiple people dressed as Trick, and all of these multiple people are committing all of these murders. And even the old Trick from 2015 is still alive, bound to a wheelchair. After watching the ending, I hated it, but after thinking about it, I realized it's actually pretty good. If you look at a film like Halloween 4 or 5, people know about the legend of Michael Myers, so people are obviously going to dress as the character and even imitate him. Most of them would not go out and commit murders similar to Michael, but some might. It just goes to show that there are some crazy people living in this world. And if you were in the situation, what would you choose? Trick or treat? So that was Trick. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I hope you enjoyed this year's 31 Days of Horror. I definitely intend on returning next year for another 31 Days of Horror, but right now, I'm gonna relax, watch some films. After all, it's Halloween, and before we know it, it's going to be Christmas. 12 scary days of Christmas.